A little bit humid today here. Okay, be back on. All right. Good morning, everybody. We have got non-farm payrolls came out this morning. I actually didn't even look at the report yet. The reaction is positive on the market, though. Let's see. Refresh. Boom. There it is. NFP. And huh, interesting. It was negative. As far as I understand, non-farm payrolls, fewer jobs. Wait, representing a deceleration. Yeah. Okay, so we had 315 jobs added to the jobs market last month. 315,000, 315, 315,000. This month, um, I mean, I know the number. I'm just double checking the rate of change and stuff here. Um, yeah, they're forecasting maybe 240,000-ish. It was 175,000. So far fewer jobs hiring, hiring than expected, far fewer. And unemployment rate rises to 3.9% from 3.8%. This is the first sign that what the Fed's doing is working. In other words, this is what the Fed has been wanting all along. Like, just in case you didn't know, they want to raise rates so high that, I mean, on the one side of the spectrum, right? They're trying to do it in a very soft and delicate manner, but the ultimate goal, and they want to achieve it nice and smoothly this time, but the ultimate goal is to get you to stop spending money. And part of that is to make it harder for you to have a job by making the number of jobs more scarce. And you can do that by making companies more under pressure by raising rates. So they're raising the rates, and it looks like it's starting to take effect. And it's great for inflation because it's going to stop inflation. But a robust workforce without inflation is the only thing that could cause deflation or something on the global stage. However, these lack of this lackluster, decelerating jobs report, therefore, is a positive that rate cuts could be coming, because you've heard me saying that there could even be a rate hike on the table that he hasn't even mentioned yet. That could happen. It was very surprising, the last rhetoric. I thought it was very interestingly positive. And then now we see this NFP report, and it turns out, yeah, we're seeing this the slowing necessary to beat down inflation. And but this is just the beginning, and this is just a blip, because numbers can go back and forth. So, but hopefully it's sticks. And I still think they might not. I mean, unless we see back to back to back, like three in a row decelerations like that over the next few months, I don't think we're going to have a rate cut this year. And they said they would have three earlier this year, remember? So inflation just, is a bit of a monster right now. It's a bit of a beast. But this report is a positive towards cutting rates. Okay. But it's a negative essentially economically in the now, right? But that's great for stocks in the stock market because it looks like uh, the possibility of a rate cut is indeed in the future, and we do see rates dropping now in pre-market and the market is up. So it's strange, right? Because the jobs report was bad, right? So, but it's all about the bigger picture, because you don't buy the goose that lays the golden egg for how much a golden egg is worth right now. You buy it for how many golden eggs is forecasted for you to be able to get from the goose that laid the golden eggs in its entire lifetime. That's how much the goose is worth. And so the market is going up because not things are great right now, but because when you look at the long-term forecast of everything now, lowered rates should mean higher valuations in growth companies, easier to borrow money, more money in the sector, more capital being pushed into investing and into growth stocks. And so that causes prices to go up and outlook to look good, is as strange as it is. And imagine this, forcing companies to lay off because of the high rates, forcing companies to lay off employees would be a positive, because that would be forcing their hand in having to improve their internal efficiencies, their bottom line, their margins. They'd have to cut back now. They'd have to get pretty creative and clever with working with fewer people. People would have to take on more duty, and maybe that would cause an increase in benefits and wages, but fewer jobs. But you see how it all sort of works together, and that some negatives make a positive, and that's the case right now. And that's just because of the elevated situation we're in economically right now. Like, we're under a lot of inflation pressure, and so the Fed is creating rate pressure. They're mandating minimums that are very high in order to stop companies and people from spending. Because if they could stop spending, if everyone just had like a savings strike, and they all went on in, they all started savings, and nobody spent money, momentarily, all of a sudden inflation would drop significantly. Of course, so it would affect all companies as well, but they're still, B2B would not be under pressure, but uh, business to consumer, uh, retail would be, obviously. But people need to stop spending. Yeah. And we are getting up to the upper limits of how much debt everyone is in right now. People are still spending, but they're using debt. There comes a point where people can't pay their debt anymore, and so you start to get those default rates start to go up, because people, the more responsible people, obviously, they keep doing their best, keep getting it in, but the least responsible people start to fall off first, and those default rates start going up, and foreclosure rates, start going up. People can't afford to pay their debt, let alone buy something without debt. They can't even afford to pay their monthly debt, you know, bills. So that's what the Fed wants. They want you to stop spending money, and that's the only real way they can control that. Plus the quantitative easing, and with bonds and securities, they can buy and sell securities. The government, that's a technique engineered by the Japanese, which we adopted in the last few decades. It's been very, very helpful in really tweaking and navigating the star field of the economy of an entire economy. Well, basically the global economy. I mean, we are 26% of GDP, the entire world's GDP, USA. And then 90 or 95% of all foreign trade, so between countries, is done in US dollars. 90%, I believe it is. So, I mean, you're talking about Earth managing all of human societies on Earth with like two knobs: one, rates, and the other one, quantitative easing. It's quantitative. I forget the word for the other side. it's quantitative easing when we're coming out of it. Tightening, quantitative tightening and quantitative easing. I think there's a name for both of those, but you get the point. I mean, the logic is the same. It doesn't matter what they call it. They could call it frou-frou. It doesn't matter to me. It's what it is. All right, well, we got 16 minutes until the opening bell, and so as a result, the market is up, and Bitcoin is flying. It was at 59,000. Now it's at like almost 62,000. So it's 3,000 change. Change. I think that's 5%. So Bitcoin's maybe up 5%. The dollar's stronger. The Qs are way up. S&P 5's way up. S&P 500's way up. The Qs are up almost 8 points, or 7 points, 1.6%. Obviously, S&P 500 always trades more muted and has a smaller move. So, if you're a trader, you always want to trade QQQ, make more money. What else was I going to say? There's a lot of potential opportunities out there, triggering. And this morning, I see the largest, most up stock is ARDX, $1.6 billion stock at about $8, up 17%. Let's take a quick look at that. ARDX. I mean, it is a nice, upwardly moving chart, but this gap up leaps right into the range, so it's not super helpful. Oh, by the way, let's take a look at Apple. Apple was up yesterday on a good earnings report, and I guess good guidance. And we have upgrades. Apple delivered much better than feared quarter. Why betting against the company is a wrong move. Apple price target raised to 196 from 189. I'm looking for upgrades. Tim Cook's very bullish on Apple's generative AI efforts. Or 2 hours ago, Apple price target maintained with $220 a share. Right now it's at 185. It was at 173-ish. It's at 185 now. Markets are set for May rally with Apple results the catalyst based on this 74-year trend. Okay, cool. So anywho, and it's holding. It's holding this morning, and NFP report has helped. So at this moment on this Friday, outlook good. I'm prepared for anything to happen, but that's what we probably expect is a green day, an all day green day. All the factors point to that, but hey, anything can happen. And also, you still have the geopolitical risks. So on Apple, it's finally over the 200 SMA. I think this was roughly unexpected, so I think we're going to get a green day on Apple. It'll be bought up. The investment dollars will flow into it. And it is a break over a previous breakdown as well, and a pivot reversal, bottom reversal constitutes a bottom reversal. So, hey, it could put in a red day, though. It could bleed out and people taking profits and just feeling scared in this market. But this is a pretty darn good spot for Apple to be opening. And if it's a green day for Apple, it's probably going to be a green day for the market. So kind of like all eyes on Apple. Let's put that up over here on our intraday watch to see how it flows from the open. And I like to take a look at the VIX for divergence as well as that's going. Also ARDX. So ARDX was neither here nor there. Another big one was Open, $1.4 billion company, Opendoor. And no, that's not information. Amgen, $150 billion company. Amgen up 12%, just huge on the chart. That constitutes a giant move on this basically 1.8% ADR stock. But that's Amgen. It's 1.8%. Not sure which anything to do there, but that's great. Square up 10% this morning. Still not quite in any pivotal breakout setup spot there. Obviously, Apple, fantastic. And Apple is up 7%, and it makes the list. It's a $2.7 billion company. For those of you who have never heard of Apple, they make computers and iPhone devices and smartphone. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't know what Apple is, then you should go back to trading Forex, you idiot. IBRX. Where the idiots belong. Okay. Uh, hey, look, the naive, I should say. Y'all start out somewhere. Just don't end up there. Don't get stuck there. All right, well, good. And now we have a short list that we made last night during our market studies. And Randy was so kind to um, post that list for us. So let's see. I wonder if I can get that to just be up for you guys to see. So we'll go through those right now. Well, that's right over my head. So I'll put that like right here. That should be fine. So we got LE. Yeah, Land's End with earnings coming up though, wasn't it? Oh, I thought. Oh, we got lots of runway before earnings. So Land's End, beautiful. I gotta check the market chameleon for liquidity on that. What time we got right now? Okay, we got 11 minutes to the open. Liquidity situation in the options on Land's End is probably very illiquid. Let's see. Oh God, it's just like super illiquid. 11, 3, 10. I'm not talking about thousands. No, so we can't do a options trade on Land's End, but hey, that if you love to trade shares, it's a 6% ADR stock, and if you can find your way into Land's End, wow, it's been doing spectacular. SMTC, yeah, gorgeous. That looks gorgeous, and also the liquidity on that probably is not conducive for shares trading. Let's see. Not really, but lately it's been doing five and tens of thousands, dwindling down to about 3,000 per day, though. I bet if I look at the chain, the bid ask's not very friendly. Let's see. They don't even have weekly options. If you stick to the stocks that also have weeklies, the monthlies are going to be that much more liquid, so it kind of helps. There's a tip for you. Yeah, no, the bid ask is 45 cents to $1.65. I mean, things will firm up, tighten up. The bid ask spread will tighten during open hours, but it shouldn't end that way overnight. It should stay pretty pegged. And so SMTC, no good. And also we got tracks, but SMTC, it looks great on the chart as a pattern, for shares trading. The earnings release on Trox yesterday was fantastic. It had a beautiful day. That was an excellent sort of breakout moment on a recent nice move. Trox, TROX, that looks great. I'm sure that it's that one I've never even heard of at all. I'm sure that's too low in liquidity. Yeah, it's next to nil. Traded 42 options the other day. Trox Q2. These are all great shares trades and beautiful charts. None of them liquid enough for options traders. Q2, but excellent options for shares traders. Q2 traded two shares. I mean, options the other day. I mean, it's beautiful chart, gorgeous move, excellent setup, everything, just not conducive to options trading. Rev G. Yep, also too low on the option side. Another beautiful chart. Yesterday was a beautiful cheat entry, and today you could still get in before breakout. You want to put your stop below the prior pivot though, 21. Rev G, if you're doing shares. FTAI, I mean, good God, this thing is just a beautiful, gorgeous move. 4.5% ADR. Like, how could you not be in that? We've been talking about that for months. I think about 2 months. But I'm sure the options are not conducive. Not sure, but I think so. Yeah, 4,200, 5,000. It has its moments, but this is an average of about 600 per day. That's too low. We need at least 2,000, 4,000 options traded per day. AVNT, but that's gorgeous for shares trading. My God. AVNT, now this one is earnings coming right up and it's just poised right for a beautiful breakout. Look at that. Let's just draw right over that. We got 7 minutes before the market opens. What I'm talking about is we got this all-time high, recent 52-week high right there. We've got this sort of level that it recently tried to come out of, and now it's just perked up so beautifully right there with a tightening on the right side. We've been getting right side tightening for a while now, and the earnings, if they are good, are gonna send it into a pivot breakout, which, if it's on enough volume, could send it into a continuing uptrend. And you can see the angle of uptrend that it typically has is very nice. When, if we can catch one, the appreciation is excellent. We're talking about like 24% in 57 days. This one, 35% in 72 days. So it's almost a 0.5% per day, which I would expect to have an ADR of about 1.7%, but it does say it has a 2.10% ADR. And in any way, hey, it just looks gorgeous, beautiful setup. You can apply that, even to other, apply that knowledge to other, in theory, to other stock picks if need be. But 2.1% is a bit low, but could be okay for a PCS, but I'm sure the options are not conducive. Let's see. No, they're not. But we're going to be watching Apple. That's definitely conducive on the option side. So we've got one pick, and we're just checking out some others. GSL, Global Ship Lease. This chart is just gorgeous. This is what you're looking for. Earnings coming up, but it's a 2.15% ADR stock. So it's a little slow, but gorgeous looking chart. If you want to learn how to read charts, these are what you want to be looking for. And I'm sure the liquidity is non-existent in the options. Let's see. Oh, actually, it's a little more than I thought. A couple hundred and a couple thousand per day. Still too illiquid, but it's more than I thought. GSL Pi, I think I remember this chart being quite good. Yeah, oof, what a beautiful move from $48 to $163 in just 2 quarters. That's astonishing. The fundamentals, I guess, are turning around. This recently had its first profitable quarter. That's beautiful. Liquidity on that though is probably, I've never been heard of the company, it's probably very low. Yeah. Lately it's been pretty hot doing 2000, 6000, 2000, 1000, but you can rely on it being more like 100 to 200. That's pretty much the typical when things aren't hot. AI is one of the best looking charts around. I look at that. Oh my God. It's definitely a penny stock share trading type of situation. 13 motherfucking percent ADR. Holy shit. The move recently was 287% in 84 days. So that's less than 3 months. It tripled in less than 3 months. Tripled in, so it's doubling every month, like mother of Jesus. Well, not really. When you reverse compound it back, it's not quite doubling every month, but it tripled in 3 months. And whatever that is, the square root of and everything, I guess probably like 60% gains per month. Now I've gotten a little curious if I'm right about that. 287%, that'd be 3.87 to the power of 1/3. Yeah, 57% gains per month. What did I say? 60%. I just did reverse compounding exponential square, cube root in my head. That was pretty fucking good. I was really close. 57% when you use a calculator. I said 60. Pretty damn good. I'm just scratching my own back. AI LFMD. I think this is a bigger one, but I'm not sure it has the option liquidity, but that's a beautiful chart. And I was off, says Carl. So fuck you. And then we got earnings coming up in a couple of days on this LFMD. Look at this ascending trend line here. Market's about to open. Good good looking LFMD. Market's about to open, but earnings coming up in a couple days, so you got to keep that on watch. If, for me anyway, if it has a good options liquidity. If it doesn't, it's a shares trade. No, it doesn't. It does not have very good options liquidity. So the charts can be great, but if you're an options trader, you still need them to be liquid enough in the options to trade them under the options. All right, we got 1 minute till the market opens. Let's go get prepared. Apple that we're going to be watching and potentially getting into. Potentially, I mean, it's probably. I mean, if it doesn't fly out of a 60-second opening range breakout, then you've got the 5 minute dip buy to fall back on. I think that it's going to fly, but if it doesn't, in fact, it's flying right now. But if it doesn't off of the open, then we'll get it on pullback. All right, so I'm going to get the option chain up on Apple and be ready to pull the trigger and get into a position at the 20 delta June 21 contracts, 49 days out. I'm going to put this aside, but these are all very good stock picks and stock charts. That was only half of them we went through. There's Delta Airlines, there's NRG, and Coupang, a whole bunch of beautiful looking charts. All right, here we go. 5 seconds to the market open. And we're off. Market reaction looking positive. I don't know how you could hold this market back with the positive earnings and with the positive reaction to NFP, but hey, maybe. Hey, that's 35 seconds of trading. It looks like it's getting bought up. I'm releasing my hedge on the market right now. I'll re-hedge if I'm wrong, but I think today's not going to be red. But yeah, I'll have to re-hedge if I'm wrong. Anyway, Apple, we're still waiting for a drop or a breakout in order to go with either the 5 minute dip buy strategy or a 1 minute opening range breakout. Okay, the 1 minute opening range has been put in. If we break if we break 187.08 on Apple, that would be the entry. So I'm going to go get cocked and ready. And that would be the 175 PCS. So 175.70 June 21. Oh, some of these might be. Did I still have some of these on 5 minute chart? Yeah, the Apple one. Thought that looked a little funny. All right. We are in the second minute here, looking for a break of 178.08. Really is the most accurate breakout point. But right now we're red. We are red on Apple and taking profits. So no entry, and the market is pulling back. So we may end up reverting to a 5 minute opening dip buy. 5 minute dip buy. Well, I'll switch over to the 5 minutes now. We're in the second minute of the market, which is really the third minute because the 0th minute is the first minute. And then minute 1 is the second minute. And then minute 2 is the third minute. Just to confuse you in the morning, huh? You like? Okay, we're looking for 187.08 breakout or 5 minute dip buy. The VIX is holding steady, so that's a sign that this is just noise on the market. The movements are just noise at the moment. Looks like Nvidia's gone really well in my port. What's going on Nvidia? We're having a nice green day on Nvidia. No, but it's opening elevated. This is why. But we'd like to see a green day follow through on this NFP report and good Apple earnings. Like I said, anything can happen though. And here we are watching Apple not run and watching the market not run. And it's just typical. Right, Kelly? Got to stay on your feet. Gold is dropping like a ton of gold, and oil as well. That's a fantastic for the market. We're seeing deflation en masse in commodities, industrials, financials, baselines, and also staples are being rotated out of while the market's holding doji. This is an excellent sign, even though the market's slightly coming back, everything else is being sold off. The money is about to be barreled into the market. It's coming out of staples and safety and defensives and industrials and inflationaries. And that is like my guess is that is in preparation for it to be pushed all in on growth. I think the timing of that will remain to be seen. I'm sure smart money can wait as long as they want, but they'll let the market drop if it must. And then I believe it's going to be bought up big time. And it looks like Bitcoin agrees. Bitcoin's not falling for the bullshit. Bitcoin's at 62,000 and charging forward. It is extremely bullish right now. Not taking any duff. It says, I don't give a fuck about Apple. I don't give a fuck about market makers. I don't give a fuck about the markets. I'll see you later. I'm buying some. That's what's going on in Bitcoin right now. It's unilateral and it's not acting like gold or what is it called? Flight to safety or I forget what they call it, a safety asset or whatever. It's not acting like that at all. It's acting like a growth asset. It's acting like the underbelly of growth companies. And it's been that way for about 2.5 years now. It's been very interestingly correlated with the growth markets. All right, the market keeps pulling back and Bitcoin keeps going, but the VIX is holding steady and rates are dropping and inflationaries, staples, and commodities are all dropping and industrials. So where's it going? The dollar, it's getting strong. The dollar is strengthening and uh, all of the investment markets are holding right now. They're not going anywhere, but everything else is selling off. But the markets, investment businesses are holding. So I think that's going to come in with a heavy hand soon. The Qs are actually already kind of ticking up. Apple is not yet on a 5-minute chart basis. But the Qs are already having their first zag after zigging. Actually, since it was red at the open, you might say they zagged first and now they're zigging. So there's a zag-zig pattern going on. I can imagine if that's what we said. Like, do you ever read Ray Bradbury's? I think it was called The Butterfly Effect. This guy goes back in time in a time machine on a prehistoric tour with others, walks along a path to view dinosaurs, and then when they're leaving, he slips off the path, steps in some mud, and then the guys, one by one, they go into the future, and he's the last one to get back in the machine. Comes back, the door opens, he gets in, he's back in all alone. He goes back to the future. Everything in the future is the same except for the letter X is in certain places. And things are just the words of things. Things are just like 0.1% off. The future is just slightly off. And then he sees mud all over his shoes. He looks on the bottom of his shoe, and he had stepped on a prehistoric butterfly. Such a cool fucking story. So that's the butterfly effect, how one little thing can affect everything in some way. I forget why I just told you that. What was I talking about? I was talking about Bitcoin, or I was talking about the Qs. Zagzag. That's it. I was thinking, what if we lived in a world where instead of saying zigzag, someone in the past stepped on a butterfly and came back and everything changed. And the way in our reality, we actually call it zagzagging. Interesting to think about when when nothing's going on in the market. I mean, Jesus Christ, it looks like you could short, excuse my language there, I guess for some of you who might be religious, but you could probably short gold and commodities. I mean, they are just falling like a ton of bricks in financials. I mean, they're all having a tough time today. Look at this. Here's XLF. Let's look at gold. Watch this. Off of that move, really selling off. And more. This is delayed. D, there's a D on there. It's more. It's dropping. It's way down. It's not even showing. I don't know why it's delayed. Maybe I can go with a gold ETF. Let's see, funds, a GLD. There we go. Look, that's what's going on in gold right now. And then staples, XLP, P for staples. Staples. That's how you find that. Boy, they've been selling off. Oil. I try to find an ETF for that as well. Oil USO, it's selling off and selling off strong. And then treasuries, the rates, that'd be over here on the over here 30-year, for example. That's down and staying underwater. Let's take a look at the 2-year. Yeah, I'm just staying underwater. I mean, it's definitely underneath Gamma now for the first time. So that's really fantastic. That's great to see. Back to the market in Apple and Bitcoin and everything we're watching. The market is dojing. It's just sideways, and that's excellent. That's fine. That's relative strength, considering everything else is dropping. But remember that everything else that's dropping is, value stocks, defensives, inflationaries, commodities, financials, industrials. Those are all things that are inflation based environment investments, and then safeties, for in case the shit hits the fan. But it's looking like we don't believe the shit's going to hit the fan anymore. And even though the markets are not going up, they're not going down, and that's important to know. And that's called relative strength. All right. Well, we're looking for a 5-minute dip by entry on Apple. I suppose we'll stick around until it triggers. Uh, as you can see, the 5-minute candles, we need to see price get over and above a prior 5-minute candle, and ideally during the last minute of the 5-minute candle. That'd be perfect, because if it does that in the first minute, it's just so hard to have faith in that candle's going to close 4 minutes from now elevated above that level. It's asking a lot. It's really hard to get in on a first minute uh, point on the 5-minute. So, but sometimes that's the way it is, and the way things trade, you can't control that. But sometimes, you get the ideal, and that's a beautiful thing when that happens. Okay, the market is actually turning around now, starting to be positive. I think that's going to cause Apple to get a little bit of lift and assist. That's very good. I'm going to keep NVIDIA right underneath here as well. All right, NVIDIA's turning around with the market. NVIDIA's acting, actually NVIDIA's slightly weaker than the market, the growth market, but stronger than Apple this morning. And so NVIDIA's looking quite good. That's good. I have a lot of NVIDIA. I have a bearish position, ENPH, and it's doing really well bullishly. And so I'm probably gonna have to cut that today. Not doing well. Yeah, look at that. Huge move up. I needed that to be underneath this line. Not every trade works out. The Qs are looking like they're going to break out. I've got a iron condor untossed, and I don't know if it's the bid ask, but it's made the strongest move against me in my iron condors, which is, it's not even that big of a deal. It's a very small amount, but it's the strongest. So I need to take a look at it. Let's see what's going on. Okay, my iron condor sweet spot is in the center line of the call credit spread and the put credit spread there, and it's moving away from center. So, but with maybe some zigzagging, it'll come back down to the center, and I can snip it for a profit before ER releases in like 2 days. Holding on by a very thin thread. All right, the QQQ's just put in a higher high, you guys. So that's amazing, while gold is dropping, while crude is dropping, commodities, industrials, financials, staples, defensives, inflationaries, all dropping, all being taken money off of the table. Think of it as an ATM machine. Everybody's withdrawing their money, institutionals, and it looks like they're starting to find places to put it. Surprisingly, it's not Apple. Surprisingly, they're not putting in an Apple. Maybe they already fully allocated there. It's not hard to put clients' money into Apple. But this, yeah, that's a beautiful look on the cues right now. And Bitcoin still holding strong. It's over Gamma on the 1 minute. That's very strong. Hasn't broken Gamma, and that's just a beautiful run. It's probably about to break it right now, but so put a little bit of pressure on prices. And that's all while crude and gold and all those things I just talked about are experiencing a little bit of a bounce. But like I said before, that could just be the zag and the zig, and doesn't necessarily constitute an uptrend or downtrend or reversal. Just because something gets some support and zags for a moment doesn't mean it's not going to put in a lower high and then keep going down. Meanwhile, growth is often running very nice. I am glad I released my hedge for that reason. Yeah, ENPH is the only thorn in my side right now. Let me see if it's going down intraday or up. It's actually going up, so that's good. Oh no, it's bearish. My position on that is bearish. No, I might have to make an early exit on that, although we're getting that little zag going on right now on it. Yeah, I might have to take that out right when it hits the 20 right there, just as a matter of loss mitigation. I'm at minus 112 on the max profit on that, so it's definitely a day below 100. You're supposed actually it's at minus 101. It just blipped down a little bit and improved for me. Let's see, how many contracts do I have? Okay, I could sell one because I got three. So let's go and buy one, close one is what I mean to say. All right. Oops, no, hang on a second. You just showed me $1.78. Don't go to 275. I want to buy it back as cheaply as possible. Okay, I'll put that on the order in open orders. There we go. And let's see if it catches that in the next hour. All right, we're still looking for potentially a 5-minute dip buy signal on Apple using our 5-minute dip buy technique. Helps us get the best entry in situations like that. Isn't that interesting how we were able to just fly right into the 5-minute dip buy on Apple, which is our preferred entry technique. But hey, power is power. And if you got to grab a 1-minute opening range breakout, you got to, but those are more prone to fake outs and failure. And you need to be on your toes, and you cannot be restricted by the pattern day trading rule. I mean, you're going to have to be able to, you do not get into something if you're going to get trapped in it. You can't get into something if you can't get out. You have to be able to get out. RJ, welcome in. I was just talking about how you don't want to get trapped by the pattern day trading rule. When you need to get out, you need to get out. So don't get into something if you can't get out. That's not how you should be treating your capital. Boy, the growth market is just the most on fire thing. And consumer discretionary, which is like uh retail it's probably yeah, retail and others. Let's see, what are some top XLY stocks? Let's see. XLY components, consumer discretionary. What are some of the top holdings? Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Lowe's, Booking, Nike, TJX, Chipotle, Starbucks, Lululemon, Ross, Ford, Hilton, AutoZone, General Motors, Marriott, O'Reilly, Airbnb. This see what I'm saying? This is stuff that companies that apparently are going to do well. I don't know how they figure, but I guess they're highly affected by rates that could be coming down. So this could be a pivotal moment, really, for value and growth stocks. This could be the bottom of, economically speaking, a bottom moment in the economy, and with only up to go. This is we got to take it month by month, but it could be. Very nice. Kelly just had a 27% whole count gain by playing Spy. Should have played Q's. Post it. All right. Yeah, very good. You would have got more. Go check. Do the TA on Q's. Figure out what you would have got. Switch over to the option you would have got. Check out the chart for the option you would have got, the price you would have got it at, and the price you would have just sold at. And I guarantee you would have got 31% more. Yeah, you should just get used to charting it because you can make more money. 1.27 times 1.31, you would have made 66% instead of 27%. So just FYI, something to consider. How is that 60? What the fuck did I do? Add them? I don't know. Somehow that's true though. How is that 66%? How is 27%? How is 31% more than 27%? 66%. The fuck? What is wrong with this thing? That's just not right. Oh, because it's 27%. I have to do plus one. One plus, I mean. Oh, you would have got 35%. 35% return instead of 27%. There we go. Still, that's pretty, it's better. Hey, better is better. No, you wouldn't have got double. 35% instead of 27%. Hey, more money, more money. But you're gonna have to get used to the QQQ charts. But that's the thing I can guarantee you is that 99 out of 100, 99% of the time, save for 2 days per year, that I'm wrong. But the other 248 days per year, the Qs will outperform SPY down and up by 31%. They just move more. And that's just the way it is. And so you'll make more on the same exact technical analysis, different day, different ticker, same analysis. Okay, we're just about to get the entry on Apple, 184.45. And what minute are we on? Okay, we just put in that minute, so it's a little bit too early, but this could be it on Apple. I'm going to ready mine. Okay, that'd be the 175, 170. Let's see if it pays. Ooh, it doesn't pay too well. We're talking about a 22% delta, and we'd be getting 17%. All right. Well, hey, there you go. We might not be able to get into Apple just because it doesn't pay. 77, that's a little bit better. Where would I need it to be to get 22%? Let's see. 90, I needed to pay 94 cents or better on Apple in order for it to be positive EV, really, and follow our rules. Ideally, we want those to be 25% for a 22 delta or a 20 delta. Ideally, we're looking for 25% ROC. ROC. But for you shares traders, that's an intraday entry pretty much happening on Apple. For a 5-minute dip by strategy. Nvidia is flying. Total account wins day by day, 33% Monday, 42% Tuesday, 99% Wednesday, and 41% Thursday, and 24% today. One trade a day keeps my account green. All right. Whole account. I know I mentioned that. That's amazing. If we look at our meters, so to speak, we're at about 55, 60% bullish. All right, app just alerted. I'd like to take a look at that chart. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Look at that, you guys. Share traders only on this because it's ER in a couple of days. But this is a breakout point on app. Inner pivot cheat breakout. Set your stops to 69.45. That would be a shares trade. Boom, it's already moving. It's happening. $74 is now 74.83. This fucker's moving fast. APP app, 4.6% ADR for you share traders. This is a beautiful, maybe couple of day swing trade before ER comes out, and then you just get out. It is moving. Carl reminds us, don't forget AAPD is a 2X Apple. AAPD, if you're looking for a stronger move. What the fuck? No. No, that's weird. AAPD. AAP Direction on Apple bullish. AAPU. That's the one. That's the 2x bullish side. Right now, you'd have to use AAPD for down, up and down, U and D for if you can't short stocks or buy puts, you could get AAPU on the fact that Apple is fading. But that's a dip buy right now on Apple. So I think it's going to be bullish from here now. That was the entry, 184.50. There it is. The 5-minute dip buy has spoken. Yeah, that's okay. Um, Nvidia, there you are. Nvidia's doing great. I'm at 26% max profit on Nvidia now. This NTNX is putting in. Oh, Kava is looking good again. Thank goodness. I really do need to get out of that because it made a big move. I took off one contract at peak, but then it pulled back. Now it's back up about halfway. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to put an order to close one out of my two remaining contracts on that one, just at slightly better price than current price. So, it'll wiggle around and probably fulfill that. And then when I get that, I'll do another one that's slightly even more aggressive. And then I'll finally be all out on Kava. Looking great. We got lots of runway on Kava, by the way, and this could potentially be an entry moment for a new PCS for you guys who don't have one going already on Kava. I don't want to expose that way on Kava, but yeah, I've had 3 trades so far in the last 5 months on Kava. 4 months, 4.5 months. What's going on with Freeport McMoran? Well, we know it's falling because it's a commodity. Actually, it's not, but it is relatively weak. Still looking pretty okay. ENPH is still going green. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just have to snip that now. At least let's raise my bid a little bit. That trade throughout the day. So top of the list, oh, that's really funny. The number one stock on our growth risk up the strongest today, ENPH. Speak of the goddamn devil. There it is at the very top. So it's the thorn in my side because I shorted that. I'm short on that. SMCI is also really strong. Take a look at that. No, that's not a signal, but that was one we've always been watching. It was hot. First Solar, that's a beautiful on earnings, catalyst day, pivot, breakout, bottom reversal over the 200 SMA. It's got multiple things in your favor on First Solar, looking good right here for a never look back. Perfect for a PCS type of situation. FSLR breaking out over the 200. Let's check the options on that. I think I heard somebody. Hold on. Be right back. Sure nobody's trying to reach me right now. No, okay, everything should be fine. All right. Anyway, let's look at this FSLR option liquidity. Going over to Market Chameleon for that. The liquidity looks fantastic. It's like 15,000 minimum, and then sometimes pops up to 100,000s and more. Nice. So now the chain on FSLR for the June 21 20 Delta looks like, well, looks nice and healthy. And now we get 86 credit to the 19 Delta. So let's see what that is. 86 divided by 414, 20.7% return. So what was that? 90, 86. Now it's offering 91. That's a lot better. I could go for that. All right, so I'm going to get that. But what level is that? It is the 170. Yeah, that's right below all that support area. That's a beauty. That's a sure thing right there. I'm getting a bunch of those. My full allocation, I should say. Okay, that's even a little bit over. So tiny bit. Don't get hysterical now. All right, 94 even we're getting right now. Excellent. That's probably okay. I'm putting that in. Talk about it later. 94. I got filled at 95. They even give me a better price. So 95 divided by 405. Oh, right. Got almost 24% ROC on a 19 Delta, the 170. God, that's a gorgeous price to get in on. And we got plenty of runway. Look at that, because obviously ER just came out. What we're talking about, we just got in right there. We're talking about the June 21, which is 49 days away, and it's the 170 that I got for 95 cents, which is almost a dollar. So the break even is 169.05 on that spread right there. Boom. On the 21st, there we go. And then template, put credit spread, boom. So this is my break even profit line. I need price to stay above that line. I'll take that bet any day. Look at that. Because the uh break even is below support back here. That's fantastic. That's what you want. That looks very doable. And this huge catalyst green day today could mean there could be follow through tomorrow. Like, hey, anything can happen midday. It's always better to get into things end of day. You could do that, Carl, if you want, but mine was 170, 165. The 165, 160 is only a 14 delta, so you're not going to be getting very much return, but you're going to get more certainty that you're going to win, but you won't get 25% ROC. Like I just did, 24%. You'll probably get, I don't know, 19% ROC. So you can go to the more probable situation, but you're going to get less in return. And you could do that. You could switch from 10, but the thing is, I think 80-20 is an excellent bet. That's 4-1 in the probabilities. There's a card stacked way against the option buyer and much in the favor, 4-1 in the favor of the option seller. Yeah. But, if you go down to say 16 delta, now you're talking, what is that? Well, let's see. 84 divided by 16, 5.25 to 1. I mean, you're almost absolutely securing certainty of being successful in that trade. And remember, you increase all that when your goal really is only to take profits of 50%. And sometimes we get more, but that's the goal. So I mean that's excellent. Anyway, that looks great. Loving that. Glad I'm in it. Got a great fill. I put in a price for 94. It filled me at 95. I mean, you guys could probably get in it now for even more. I obviously let's see. It'll tell me what it's at right now. Yeah, it's even at a better price right now. Move that over to my options. Bullish. God, my Moderna is at 33%. You guys got out of that the other day, right? Man, that's fantastic. Good decision getting out the other day on that. I could do that right now. Let it sit there for. Let's see how it goes till the end of the day. I mean, I'm already in it. I might as well. With the market having I don't know, a reaction. Apple failed out. The 5-minute entry on Apple failed out. It's just broke down and it's starting to push down. And so that's failure on Apple 5-minute. That basically means, no more trades for you on Apple when it does something like that. When it fails the 60-minute, well, it didn't fail it never triggered, but then it fell back to the fallback of the 5-minute dip buy strategy. And then when the 5-minute dip buy strategy doesn't work, I mean, we've gone in for a second try before, but and maybe 3 strikes are out, but it's generally not a good sign. Things should work out. But what I'd hate is for you to miss a second try and then it actually happens, which happens. But wow, Bitcoin just flew. It is now at 62,100. Bitcoin's super strong. Bitcoin's not taking any duff from Apple. It says, look, I know economics, you know, fuck how Apple's doing today, or fuck how, 17 individual businesses are behaving. What was just released with the NFP report is bullish. And Bitcoin's like pure economic investment in some sense. It's not attached to a business. All it cares about is global um, economic stasis. Sometimes Bitcoin lags, sometimes it leads. Looks like it's leading. Oh, I'm really glad I got into the FSLR. I like that stock. All right, now it's less than 94 cents. It's up. Oh, what was that? ENPH? Yeah, ENPH is still sitting at. It's doing pretty well. Well, I think I'm going to call it right here, you guys. You guys have a great weekend. I'll be in the group and I'll be here, checking in on things all day. Just go ahead and type into the group and let me know what's going on. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there. Trade smarter, trade safer. See you on Monday if I don't see you back in the group. Let's go back to the group. Thanks, everybody.